it's Sheila again. Wanted to talk to you about something I'm making tonight. Last night we did these squash blossoms, stuffed squash blossoms, and I think I showed you the pumpkin that I had grown. So tonight I'm making a soup with that pumpkin. So I wanted to show you. Over here I have this. This is half of the pumpkin. You can see it was pretty big, and this is after it's baked, so it looks a little funny. But you can actually just peel this. After you bake it, you just cut it in half. You can peel that skin right off, as you can see. And this, all that good, they call it meat, which is not really meat, but it's pumpkin inside of there. So I've already pureed, and over here there's the seeds that I also baked with some butter and salt as a snack, or you can put them on top of the soup. But I've already pureed the other half of the pumpkin, which is in my blender here. I added a little bit of coconut milk because it was a little too thick to blend it well. So we're making, I forgot to say what we're making, curried coconut pumpkin soup. So you'll see I did this. This is just pureed pumpkin with some little bit of coconut milk just to thin it out. We're gonna add more of that in a bit. The other thing that I've done ahead of time, over here I made some chicken stock. You could use vegetable stock if you're vegetarian, but I made that with, I don't know if you can see in here, chicken backs and various green herbs, carrot peels, onion skins, tops of celery. I save all that stuff, kind of the parts of the vegetables that you don't use when you cook. I freeze them and use them to make soup stock. So that's what made this nice broth here. Added a little bit of sea salt, and that's a nice chicken stock. And I've done this little saute. It looks a little funny, but this was olive oil. Turn the light on. Olive oil, garlic, onions, and then I added garam masala and curry powder and just sauteed it until it was kind of a little translucent. And I'm going to add this now to the puree in the blender because I don't want the chunks. I just want the flavor of it. So it's going to get all blended in. There's a tiny bit of butter in there too because I had some left over from that I melted for the pumpkin seeds. So it's olive oil and a little bit of butter too. You don't have to put that again if you're eating vegan. You can use vegetable stock and no butter. All right, so I added all of that. I might put a tiny bit of broth just to get some of these spices out. I'm gonna put in this pan here and just scrape it down so that we can get all those seasonings into our lovely puree. All right, now we're gonna blend that again. Sorry for the noise, it's going to be a little bit loud. I forgot to say that I also added some powdered ginger. Typically I would use fresh ginger, but I didn't have any, so you got to use what you have sometimes. I'm also using vanilla coconut milk, which isn't what I normally use, but it's going to make it interesting. I think this consistency is almost right. I'm going to add more of this coconut milk now and it'll make it a little bit more of a thinner consistency that'll be easier to pour out of here. Now I think I'm probably made more broth, more of this chicken stock than I really needed. So I'm going to pour some of that out into a smaller bowl because I don't want it to be too thin. I like a thick pumpkin soup. So I'm going to use a smaller bowl. We're going to start with the pumpkin puree and then just add enough chicken stock to get it to the consistency that I want. Look how nice and creamy that looks. I'm going to get a spatula and scrape that out. I don't want to lose any of that. And you probably know the pumpkin is very good for you. It's got lots of vitamins in it, fiber, antioxidants, and it's delicious. And guess what? Pumpkin is not only for fall recipes. It's the end of July. My pumpkins are already, some of them already ready to harvest. It might be another, like a summer variety. All the squashes are kind of in the same family, and they can often be used interchangeably in recipes. I'm not going to struggle with scraping this too much. Pour this out. Very thick. Easier to scrape out. You can get some more of this later. Sometimes I tend to be a little more too meticulous. We're going to add the rest of this coconut milk now, and then we'll just only add enough chicken stock to get it to the consistency that we like. You can make it as thin or as thick as you like. I like it a little on the thicker side. And we're going to serve it with a nice bread. You can have a salad, nice crusty bread. You can see this is making it nice and creamy. I would probably garnish it with like a little cilantro. You could put some sour cream on top or coconut cream, whatever you like. We're going to get some of this chicken broth in here. Of course, if this pan was on, I wouldn't use this rubber spatula, but it's only warm at this point. I'm going to put the heat on in a minute. I think that looks about right. I like it to be thick like that. We'll have some chicken stock for another recipe later. So that's essentially it. We're going to put that in a bowl. I'm going to warm it up a little bit more, but you can actually serve this cold as well. You can chill it in the refrigerator and have a cold soup. Stir a little dollop of some cream in there to make it look pretty. You can sprinkle a little paprika or some other spices on top, or some fresh herbs like cilantro, and just serve it like it is. You could put some of these little pumpkin seeds on the top if you wanted, or papitas, which are the meat of the pumpkin seeds, which you can buy in the store. But I was just trying to use all the parts of the plant that we could. Last night we did those squash blossoms, and we even did stuffed some squash leaves as well. So we're using the whole plant. But that's it. It's curried coconut pumpkin soup. Enjoy.